In one of my darkest hours, in my moment of need, when my joy and my hope were being attacked, I recall the words of my grandma. Follow the word of God and allow God to fight for you. The battle is not yours to fight. The battle was already won. My father went to prison 2 weeks after my twin brother and I were born. He robbed a bank, said he could not take care of the whole entire family because my mother already had 2 kids. Here goes 2 more kids. And so he felt really overwhelmed. As a child, you don't really decipher fathers, stepfathers. The man in the house dictates the religion. The father figure that I did have was this Muslim man. And so for me, following the Muslim faith was what I thought was right at the time. My household was split. My mother was Christian and my father was Muslim. And my mother converted over to Islam to appease him. And then my mother one day decided after her divorce that she wanted to go back to being Christian. At around the age of 10, my house was broken up due to my mother's addiction. I would say I was in foster homes about 13 times growing up. My religion and my belief in God was kind of shaken because as a child, I was like, if there's a God, why is he allowing this to happen to me and my family? I was split up from my family, so I was kind of going through life by myself, not really having any kind of direction, not having any family members to really relate to and to lean on. My sister's really important to my faith because after I got out the Marine Corps, I came back to the state of Minnesota, and I was not going to church. I was not active in the church at all. And I met this young lady online, and I called my little sister. I said, I met a young lady, and she asked me to go to church with her. And my little sister said, no, you don't go to church to find a woman. You go to church to find God, and God will provide a woman for you. And so she goes, you don't go to church with that lady. You come to church with me. And so I was really enjoying going to church with her. And then in 2017, she had a really bad asthma attack where she was in the hospital for a month and a half. One day the Spirit came to me, and the Spirit told me, get ready because you will have to take care of her children full time one day. And I remember that day that I received the call, and it was surreal because my niece was telling me that my sister wasn't breathing, and the police had worked on her for about 15 minutes, and I knew that this was the day that God had prepared me for. Their mother came to me and said, if anything ever happens to me, I want you to take care of my children. And so I said, okay, I understand what that means. I understand it means having a relationship with Christ. It means keeping them involved in church and raising them in a Christ-like home. So on the evening that my sister passed away, I really wanted to take custody of my niece and nephew, but I had to call my lawyers because I was going through a personal situation where my name was being dragged through the mud. I was falsely accused, and I was unable to take my niece and nephew. In my darkest hour, in my moment of need, when my joy and hope were being attacked, I remember what my grandmother said. Follow the word of God. The fight is not yours. The battle's already been won. 2 years later, after I went to the courts, I was found not guilty. God provided the evidence that cleared me and exonerated me in order to be able to take care of my niece and nephew. Simeon and Soraya were actually delivered to me through prayer. As an adult, I'm getting baptized because I know the importance of baptism. I know what baptism is about. As a child, I didn't know anything. I just went along just to go along. For me, being baptized as a child, I was really confused because it was never explained to me what baptism is and what it would establish as far as my relationship with God and the importance of my relationship with God. Yeah, I got dunked, but I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just a pool party. But now, as an adult, I know what baptism is about, and I'd like to be baptized today so I can get a closer relationship with God and show to my niece and nephew, explain to them what baptism is so one day they may seek to be baptized as well.